Hello and welcome to FTB Sports. This is the Tottenham Hotspur preview show for the game versus Zagreb Europa League round of 16, which kicks off tomorrow at 8 p.m. And I am joined by, well, let me first introduce myself. I'm never doing that. I'm Sam Spurs for Life, and I'm joined by some special guests. In the top corner, we have Mike Hotspur Hustler, we have Darius 3K as usual, and we have a special guest in the studio, SPURSZONETV. Tommy, welcome everybody to the show. How are you all doing?
I'm all right, mate.
All good, mate.
I'm looking forward
It's
to
all good.
Thursday.
So many positive vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
Superb, superb. Well, I guess we should start with our guests firstly. Tommy, do you want to just introduce yourself, tell viewers where they can find you?
Absolutely.
And anything you want to do, that's good.
Right, sweet. Yeah, my new channel is Spurs on TV. It only started about a month, 5 weeks ago. So it'd be great if you could jump on that, give me a sub, or take a look at my videos and give them some likes. Unlike this show, I'm going to be doing live watch-alongs. So the Zagreb game tomorrow, I'm going to be doing that live. So yeah, join me for that as well. It'd be great.
Fabulous. As I said, not really a watch-along person, just in case I don't know what will come out of my mouth, depending on what happens in the game. So I don't trust myself, basically, is what I'm saying. Anyway, that being said, we have looking forward to the game tomorrow. Given our recent form, 4 wins in a row in all competitions. Obviously, the last win in the Europa League being the one against Wolfsberger, round of 32, where we won 4-0. But 3 Premier League games on the trot has seen a shift in form for Spurs at the moment, and it's good to see. So I guess I think we'll start with our guests firstly. How do you see the game playing out tomorrow in terms of the way Spurs will approach it?
How we approach it obviously depends on what the lineup will be. I'm confident. I'm confident it will be a complete second team. And well, I say second team. We got a fully fit squad, so our second team's great right now too. So obviously, like the Sissoko's coming in for Højbjerg, Dele Alli in attacking mid. I mean, how many teams can boast a fully fit squad? Not just now, but ever. I mean, ever in the Premier League. It's unbelievable. I think we've just got Lo Celso and I'm hearing Rodon's out as well. But I just want a second string team. Should still be enough to beat Zagreb. It really should.
Yeah, well, like I said, when we get to the predicted lineups and stuff, we'll be able to see what you think, and you guys can dissect and pull apart what I've done as a predicted lineup. But coming to you, Darius, what's your thoughts on how the game might pan out tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm seconding Tommy on that one. I don't really think, and we said this before, I don't really think that the first game of this game is the most important, because I know that quality-wise, even with our second team, we shouldn't be able to really throw away this game. We should really and truly be winning this game with our second team. So even if worst case scenario we lose or we draw, if we go into that next game next week with our strongest team, I believe that we could probably score 3 or 4 goals quite comfortably. So I expect Tottenham to put in a performance. Obviously, I expect Tottenham to not show obvious respect to Zagreb. I expect us to kind of come out the traps, try and score, try and attack. But at the same time, I am expecting a win, or I'm expecting a result to basically complement the team. And again, like you said, Tommy, a second team that we've got when we're fully fit is good enough to win the game. So I'm expecting a win, nothing more. But if there's a few struggles, then I can understand that. That's kind of the mentality that I've got at the moment.
Sure. Before I come to you, Mark, because I want to get your thoughts on this as well. I just want to play a clip just on that, because you both have touched on talking about second team. Jose's thoughts on having a second team. Well, he's not obviously going to come out and say I've got 2 teams. He's basically saying, he's rotating. So he's obviously looking to win every game. That's his mantra now. He's not saying we're going to win the Europa League or we're going to win top 4 place or whatever. He's just saying we're going to win or try to win every game. Let's just hear what he said about some of the changes that could occur for tomorrow's game.
Am I going to repeat the same team that played against Crystal Palace? No, I'm going to make a few changes. But the team is working very well. Everybody's training hard. Everybody is pushing to play. So for me, it doesn't matter who is playing. Our team is going to be strong.
So it looks like he's going to play a strong team. What that means in terms of a strong team is debatable. Is there anybody that you think we should be looking to see perform tomorrow, or at least start? What's your thoughts on who's going to be starting? And I'm going to put the last lineup from the Wolfsburg game and then see what your thoughts are. So we had Hart in goal. We had Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer at the back, Davis at left back, Sissoko and Winks. That doesn't fill me with confidence. However, Lamela, Ali, Bergwijn, and Carlos are up top. Any thoughts, guys, on that particular lineup? Because that was the one that we won 4-0 with. Would you expect a similar type of lineup tomorrow?
Yeah. Apart from the only change that I could see, well, there's two changes that I can see in that lineup. I think that Mourinho will go with, and that would be Toby won't. I don't reckon Toby will play. I
agree. Yeah, definitely. I can't see him playing. No chance.
And I'll be annoyed if he did as well.
Yeah, same here. So I think Sanchez will come in because he's younger, fitter, and he could probably handle playing on Thursday and then playing again on Sunday. And I don't think Doherty will start. I think Aurier will play because Doherty's coming into a bit of form. And I think he'll be given the chance to play on Sunday.
Do you trust Doherty against Saka and Pepe though? Like, I don't think Doherty defending one-on-one is his best trait, and I don't know if those sort of dribbling and pacey wingers are going to give him a tough time. I'm not sure if he plays better when we're dominating games.
You can't say Serge is better defensively.
I think he is. I think he is. Personally, I think
he's improved. I think he's improved under Mourinho.
Serge gets caught out of possession too much, whereas Doherty's less likely to get caught out of possession. He may not, if you don't think he's better defensively, he's better from a positional sense. He's better. So, and I mean Pepe, I don't even rate the Pepe, so I don't think that'd be a problem. But against Zagreb,
slightly.
It's more his traits and his skill set, isn't it? Against Doherty, like I can imagine him a couple of step overs and Doherty will be spinning his head. That's my only fear with him. It's not necessarily the end product, but Doherty against those skillful, tricky wingers, he seems to struggle a little bit. Aurier against, and I always quote the Man City game. He was so good in that Man City game, and he dealt with Sterling. So I think that Aurier would probably be able to handle Pepe better, and he's stronger, I think, as well, which will probably help.
I mean,
bring it back to Zagreb, lads. Yeah. Bring it back to Zagreb.
I was looking at some
give me your thoughts.
Statistics, right? And when Gareth Bale, it's all about. I'm convinced Gareth Bale is going to be left out tomorrow and start against Arsenal. Yeah. So I've looked at some statistics, and Gareth Bale and Doherty starting. I think they've had 11 games, 10 wins and a draw, with them starting together. They've got a combination. They're on the same wavelength. That's an unbelievable statistic. I know a lot of the games would be Europa League, but at least 4 of them in the Premier League.
I've not really noticed.
That's very interesting
because I know that. Speaking to you, Tommy, I know you you quite like Doherty. Is that right? Because you thought he had a good game the last game.
Yeah, it was outstanding. Doherty was outstanding.
Yeah, I thought he was.
I honestly, you know what? The Fulham game. I think honestly, I'll put ratings up on my reaction show. Yeah. I gave him. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. If you actually watch that game, if you watch the extended highlights, he done everything right. He got the attacking moves going as well.
I agree.
It's funny because Mourinho's of the same opinion. Like he thought, Mourinho thought Doherty against Crystal Palace was absolutely
impeccable, didn't he?
Yeah, impeccable. So and that's why I think, and obviously, if Aurier is only coming back from injury, I can't see him being thrown into a North London derby.
Exactly.
I just can't see it. That's why I think Doherty will play Sunday, and if Serge is fit, I think he'll come in and get the minutes that he needs against Zagreb, which is probably the safer option in all honesty.
So that's very interesting how you guys look, because again, it depends on how you look at tomorrow's game, and then obviously the game against Arsenal, as which one is the most important game. I think Darius touched on it earlier, and I agree with him. We've got 2 legs against Zagreb, so even if things weren't to work out for tomorrow's leg in terms of not winning the game, etc., we've got another game to take care of them next week. Arsenal feels like it is, if not the biggest game, but certainly one of the biggest games this season. It's always going to be a big game playing a North London derby, but it just seems this one particularly, because I think given the points, we win against them. And I know I keep going to Arsenal. We shouldn't be doing that, but I'm going to do a little bit of it. Go to Arsenal, we win against them.
It does relate, though. It does relate.
It does. It's 10 points clear. So I always think the players are very key in this. I know a lot of players, when they've got these North London derbies and derbies in general, want to be playing in them. So they may see that game as being the most important one. So those that start tomorrow, is it going to send a message? Well, does he not think I'm
No,
good enough to play on Sunday?
Only because I think that Jose probably is prioritizing. No, he's not going to come out and say he says he wants to win every game, but I think he's prioritizing Europa League. I think we can all agree that if we had a choice of finishing higher up in the league or winning that Europa League, he's going to choose to win the Europa League. So I think
100%.
I think it kind of says, it will say something if, let's say, players maybe didn't necessarily, or mainstay players didn't necessarily play on the Thursday following. But I think that everybody knows that this is not a sprint like we always say. There's components to this season where you kind of have to play your role. Like you would expect a player who plays on Thursday and maybe necessarily doesn't play on Sunday to understand why that is, and maybe why the squad rotation is so important in this season and maintaining our form in this season.
And it's about looking at the bigger picture as well, isn't it? I mean,
I think it'd be childish for a player to kind of think that they're not important in the team if they're playing on Thursday and not Sunday.
Because now you get to the knockout stages, they are just as important as the Premier League. So I don't think there is a priority in terms of the league. It takes more priority than the Europa. I think there's now we're touching point. Well, we are in touching distance of top four. I think it's almost like there's going to be two teams played, one in the Premier League and one in Europa potentially, up until the point where it gets sort of proper serious, and it's like, you're going full strength regardless of who you got at the weekend. But
all right. So I'll ask that question to Tommy. Do you think we've got a priority this season?
See, for me, I'm the other side of the fence. I'm a Champions League man. This squad, this team, this should be a Champions League. I mean, it was in the final. It was in the final 2 years ago. So we should be hunting for the Champions League, getting him back into the top four. But Jose, he's a trophy man. He wins trophies. And even his spell at Man United, did he win 3 in the first season? It was a horrible spell, but he's still winning trophies. And we need one. It's 2007, 2008. I was 15, 16, man. It's so long ago that get that. I mean, we've got Carabao Cup coming up as well. But I mean, it's only the last 16. It's not like the Champions League's last 8 now. So it's the last 16. Zagreb. Yeah. I think we beat him with our second team. I honestly do. I think we beat him with our second team.
Yeah. As long as they don't take it lightly.
And I agree. Over 2 legs, there's no excuse not to beat that team. Over a one-off game, as I've always said, a one-off game can happen. Things can go wrong. That's why our final's always a bit of a toss-up. But 2-legged affairs, unless you have a real stinker, the best team should come out on top, given the fact that, one, there's no fans in the stadium anyway, so there's no real home or away advantage in this sense for this game. And had we been playing in Croatia, that might have been a bit of a different match.
Exactly. Croatia. So, you don't want to go to Croatia for away games. Jeez.
Nah, that's a tough ask. That's a real tough ask. They have got Champions League experience as well, so they're no mugs. But again, I look at our squad, I look at our manager, and look at our form, put all those things together, and over 2 games, I'm not seeing anything but Spurs coming out on top, which means the game on Sunday, then, I look at it as being more important. But that's just my thoughts, because of obviously I don't want them not to win.
I think it's a selfish point of view, you know. I think the only reason I find it more important is because I just want to see Arsenal in the mud, and I think that beating them would probably, one, could potentially curtail their Europa League game, because if they don't win and then they lose to us, they're not going to have much confidence, and 2, they're going to be 10 15 points away, or 10 13 points away from us, and they'll be 10th, potentially could be 11th. So it's selfish why that game's more important to me from a team perspective. And I know that we can push for this top 4. You're right in what you're saying, Tommy. I want to be in the Champions League. I live for these Champions. Like tonight, I want to watch the Champions League. That's all I want to do. But don't forget, we can still get that Champions League if we win the Europa League. So I think Jose is going to 100% prioritize that. But the Arsenal game is more important for me, just from a selfish perspective. I just want to beat them guys badly as well. So
I'm going to put up I'm not going to involve you lot, because you lot didn't put this together. So this is where we're going to get pulled apart on this one. This is before I'd watched the actual press conference, before I knew about Lo Celso being slightly injured and maybe not playing tomorrow. This was my predicted line, so I hope you can see that there. I've got Hart in goal. I've got Aurier starting at right back, and I think you guys have touched on that. I see Sanchez and Dyer, because I don't see Alderweireld starting. I see Ben Davies at left back. Now, if Lo Celso was fit and available, Jose seems to think he's not quite ready yet. I would have had Lo Celso maybe alongside Sissoko, and then the front 4, you can see Lamela, Dele, Bergwijn, Vinicius. Is there any thoughts in that you might want to think he's not playing, he should play, What's your thoughts on that team, or who should be in that team, and who needs to have a good game?
I think I agree with that team. I don't think I have much to say about that team. Maybe obviously Lo Celso, Winks is probably going to start in that position, but and Lamella's the only other person who I can't think of anybody to replace Lamella, but he'd probably be the one player that I'd probably take off 60 minutes or so, or maybe 65, because I feel like he could have quite a big impact in that Arsenal game. So yeah, apart from those two, I'm pretty happy with that team. I'd probably like to see that team. So
yeah, I'd agree with that as well. I think that, like I say, apart from the Celso, Winks will probably slot in next to Sissoko. That's the team I'd probably go with.
Tommy, is anybody in that team that you think needs to have a good game in it, if they're going to play, obviously?
You see, that team is the Tanganga debate, isn't it? It's the Tanganga debate.
Yeah,
because,
how about him as well?
I mean, do we keep playing Sanchez? I mean, he's worn out. We're talking about worn out players like Son. He looks half the player at the moment because he's worn out. Sanchez is just set. I mean, it seems to have been between Toby and Dyer next to him the last 5 or 6 games, which I disagree with. I think Toby should be the first centre back on the team sheet, but that's the way Mourinho's going. But the thing is Tanganga a centre back? Is he a right back? You want to give Aurier the minutes, so I can understand. Aurier coming in. He wasn't there for Crystal Palace. Probably injury reason, but we don't know. It could be because Doherty was so fantastic against Fulham. But the Lo Celso one as well. Lo Celso in centre mid. Now we tried it last season, and obviously Ndombele's reverted to centre mid from attacking midfield recently. But he lacked the temperament. We see that he lacked the temperament last season.
What do you mean by that? Because I like Lo Celso as a player, but I do think his injuries have kept him back. I also think, is he more of a forward-thinking player, or is he able to play that more defensive role from a double pivot standard? I'm not quite sure yet, if I'm honest with you. I don't really know.
It's so difficult, and Ndombele's adapted there. I think he's adapted so well there, and I think the reason Mourinho's chucked him in there is because he wants to put Lo Celso behind Kane. It's as simple as that. I don't think there's much trust in Dele at all. I think absolutely he wants to put Lo Celso behind there. So I'd like him to come off the bench wherever he comes on tomorrow. I'm not sure, but then he has been training for the last 2 weeks, so he might be fully fit. And if he's fully fit, he'll probably start.
I think he's out, isn't he? Because I don't think he's been training at all because he's back. He's done his back, hasn't he?
That's something.
I think he's actually out.
Fully fit from the injury. I don't know what the injury was specifically that kept him out for so long, but he's fully fit from that. But he's got a minor back issue or something like that. So I agree with what you're saying, though, Tommy. I think Lo Celso, if he wasn't playing in the Premier League like he was when he was at PSG and Betis, would probably be better in a double pivot because of the physicality in midfield isn't as intense in those leagues. So I think he could kind of get away with being in a double pivot in those leagues. He did, when he played for Betis, play as a number 10, almost as a second striker, and he was absolutely amazing. He used to link up with the strikers, and he used to also get back and defend because his tenacity is what made him such a good number 10 and a good double pivot as a centre mid. So, like we said, I think he's just an upgrade on Lamella in a lot of ways. I think maybe the aggression from Lamella is a little bit more, but I think that he's an upgrade on Lamella, and I think that he can play in a multitude of positions. I even think he could play off the right if we wanted him to. So I think that's why Jose appreciates him, because he could slot into each of those. I believe he could probably slot into each of those 3 positions behind the striker and probably do a decent job. And I think that's why a lot of Jose and obviously his previous managers liked him and played him in multiple positions, because he kind of didn't drop the level. But in terms of his best position, I have to agree with you, Tommy. I think behind that striker, he's got a goal threat because he came on and scored a good goal against City. And he's got that defensive quality to work hard that Jose requires from his players. So I think he's perfect for that number 10. And Ndombele, I think the reason Ndombele's adapted so well back into that centre mid, because he was playing there before, but I think the reason he's adapted so well is because he's just so physically strong and dominant on the ball. And in centre mid in the Premier League, I've realised this now. You have to have some sort of physical, imposing character on you. That's the way it seems to be going forward. So yeah, I think that in the future, Lo Celso, Højbjerg and Ndombele and Lo Celso would probably be our best midfield 3. And then obviously Dele's getting better as well, so he's fighting for a place as well. Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
It's definitely good for competition. I'm not unconvinced by Lo Celso. I want to see if he can put together back-to-back games, and I want to remember that is get over this kind of like injury sort of spell he's having, similar to Lamella. I'm not sure if that's an Argentinian thing or it's just the players in terms of the way they go about playing. They're very much all intense. It's like all out. They don't come on and give half, they give everything, and that maybe plays into them throwing into tackles and maybe pulling a hamstring, or you know what I mean. So injuries can happen. I think the best position and where I think we'd get the most out of him would just be behind the striker and have the ability to then rotate, you know, him with Ndombele, so Ndombele can drop into the 10. Lo Celso then can drop against Højbjerg, because Højbjerg is not going to go too far forward. You might get the odd pass from him, maybe the odd run going forward, but he's generally going to play in between them centre backs for us and stay in that position.
Thing is with Lo Celso is whenever he's played, he's been all over the pitch, hasn't he? Like, I can't remember. I think it was in one of the Europa games where he came back from injury and literally he was all over the place. Not in a bad way. He was just a work. His work rate. It's just a workhorse, isn't he? So
he makes those silly challenges. The thing with him, he makes those silly challenges. He gets yellow cards.
That's exactly like Lamela, isn't it? Like,
but that's the same with the whole. Pretty much the whole
of
Tottenham team.
That's why Lamela's place in the team has to be off the bench. Lamela's place in the team, his
100%
place in the 25-man squad is, come on, last 15-20 minutes, give us your work rate.
Yeah,
it's interesting when Darius said about Lo Celso. I don't want to keep banging on about Lo Celso, but Lo Celso as a right winger, that could be amazing. That could be amazing. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Bale next season because, you know, I think his contract runs out. He's on 300 grand a week. Can we give him 300? Well, he's on 600 grand a week at Real Madrid. I think paying half at the moment. Are we going to pay 300 grand for a 32-year-old? So 100 grand above Kane, 100 grand above Ndombele? I'm not sure. So Lo Celso on the right, it could be. And if Dele Alli, who knows, comes back into form, it could
very
be,
similar to Poch when Eriksen used to play on the right, innit? And he used to have a creative sort of midfielder playing off the right, so you can kind of play those balls. I don't know. It could work. He's versatile. That's why I like him so much.
Going to that Bale thing, just to touch on that point, Tommy. I think what Spurs are going to, if they're smart, and I'm sure Daniel Levy is a smart man. Unless somebody comes into Real Madrid and offers them serious money to take him off their hands, the likelihood is they'll say, "Oh, we'll take him on loan again for next season, and then he can come to us on a free season afterwards." I think we've kind of talked about it before. That's a no-brainer for me. You can still pay him a 250 grand, 300 grand next season, half his wages. Then he becomes available. You could say to Gareth Bale, "Look, we can give you X amount. We can do the rest in shirt deals, in, you know, player, whatever it is, they'll work some deal out." Yeah. And even if he was there for another 2 years, a Gareth Bale at 34, I think you could still sell him to America. I think you could still possibly sell him to somewhere in China for a decent fee and maybe get some of that money back. Not all of it, because you're paying him a lot of money, but get some. So that's how I look at it. I don't see him putting in any sort of bid for him next year and then saying to Gareth, "Well, you're going to have to take a pay cut," because there's no way on earth are we paying 600 grand for any player, let alone Gareth Bale. So,
and Levi wouldn't either. I mean, he's not, like you say, he's not stupid. He's probably thinking, if we can extend his deal for another season on loan, carry on paying what we are, Madrid would still have to cough up the other half or whatever the percentage they're paying out for him. And even if another club does come in for him, Bale's got to agree to move in. So why would he rock the boat when he's got it good at Spurs?
Very true. Let's have a look at some comments. We've got a few comments coming through, so I'm just going to touch on some. So we've got Zach Forbes. Good evening, Zach. Greetings, guys. Great show. How much do you know about your opponents? I don't know much about them. Does anybody else know much about them?
Modric used to play for them.
Yeah. That's probably about it as well. I don't really know much. But it's not disrespect. It's just one of those things where I'm not really paying attention to Zagreb unless there's a good player on their team or something like that. It's just they don't really pose, in my opinion, they shouldn't pose a threat to a team like Spurs. But again, you never know what can happen with us. We're Tottenham, so I'm not going to say that.
They're a football manager team. They're a football manager team.
Yeah.
You know, Dinamo Zagreb,
good football manager.
I haven't played it for the past 2 seasons, so I can't comment. I haven't played it for the past 2 seasons, so I can't comment. But
we should have had Marlon on here. He could give you that. I
mean, there are a lot of people watching the Football Manager streams right now. They're getting hundreds of views. The Football Manager streams. So
it's not even like they're playing It's not even like FIFA where you're playing. You're literally watching people move little. Let's not even talk about football.
Let's not talk about that because that's going to get me mad. That will get me mad. Zach's got another question for us. Go on. Sorry, go on. Finish, Tommy. Finish.
I was just saying the biggest thing about Croatia is what we touched on earlier. The away, going there away. It is it's literally a partisan crowd because Partizan are in Croatia. Partizan, Red Star, that derby is the biggest in the planet.
It's horrible.
In terms of atmosphere and violence. So without that, you know, I think chuck the second string in there. We shouldn't really care too much about what they've got. I don't think they got that much anyway. So yeah, we should be free rolling, and we should be humbling them pretty comfortably, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Another question from Zach. Zach's on it tonight. Please give me a scout report on Vinicius. What has he got? Who wants to take that?
Let's put it this way. I'll tell that straight away. Zach, I tell you what, Vinicius has got. He's got more goals than Marshall.
Oh, good grief. That's a bit of a... go on, expand on that. You need to expand the story now.
I don't think it needs to be expanded on. Just look at the goals ratio. Martial has got less goals than Vinicius, and he's played more games. That is it.
Hat-trick against Marine. Hat-trick against Marine.
Yeah, I don't see Martial doing that.
Put the Toby into the picture.
Yeah, I can't see Martial doing that either.
Zach is a Man United fan, and I think he's just trying to get us to rise to some sort of bait here.
I actually think he's being genuine. I genuinely think he's being genuine.
I think he's being genuine as well.
No, he's not. No, he's not. If you know him, you know what he's like. He's trying to pull some strings here. He's trying to do something. Because listen, his next comment is Darius is the odd one. He's the odd man out. Where is your Spurs background display?
Don't pressure me, because I'll actually go and get some. I'll go and get something just for Zach. I'll go and get something for that next watch.
And like I said, Zach has now responded. Yo, Mike, that's a low blow, dude. Laugh out loud. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
It's facts, though, isn't it? It's facts.
We know that as facts. We definitely know that as facts. I think we need to get into the best part of the show for me. This is the part where you guys tell me what you think. The score prediction. Hope I spelled that right. Yeah, it is. Oof, lucky that could have been embarrassing. But anyway, Tommy, start with you. Score prediction and how you think the game goes tomorrow.
Right. So as I said, I think we put pretty much our second string out. We put our second string out. More than good enough. More than capable of beating this team and beating this team comfortably. I don't even think we have to care much about the second leg, even with our second team out. I might be over egging it a little bit, but clean sheet. I mean, we kept clean sheets in the Premier League 2 of the last 3 games. So I think clean sheet 2-0, minimum 2-0. I want to see Scarlett on. I want to see Scarlett. I just want to see Scarlett at some point.
Yeah, man, true.
Okay, I'm putting this down, by the way.
Vinicius is not going to be there next season. Vinicius, we're not spending £50 million on Vinicius. He's not going to be there next season. So I want to see Scarlett. Give him 20 minutes. He was fantastic against Wolfsburg in the second leg. Absolutely fantastic. That press assist.
Yeah, that's the one. That was the one that we were speaking about. That it's the intelligence of a 16-year-old to kind of curvy run. You either have that naturally or you coach that, you drilled that into you. But he had that. It seems like he's got that naturally. So I agree with you. I want to see a little bit. He's 16, but I do want
to have the fight as well to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, brilliant.
Do you want to go a little bit further with your score prediction? Because like the Don above, and by the way, the Don is Mike at the top right corner. He actually names scorers as well. This is how good he gets. So do you want to name some scorers for your 2-0?
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
it was you. God, there's a bit of a delay there. Go on then.
Right. I thought it was going on to Mike. I thought we said Mike is the only one that predicts goal scorers. So right. Okay, so looking at the lineups, I've got a funny feeling. Winks. I think Winks will start. Not Lo Celso in there. I've got a funny feeling he'll get on the score sheet. He's moving higher and higher up, and I want to see him up the pitch and against Zagreb. I'd love to see Winks on the score sheet. So if we win 2-0, get Winks on the score sheet, and Lo Celso off the bench. So 2-0. Okay. Winksy and Lo Celso would be lovely.
Good. So 2-0. I wrote that down, by the way. Tommy 2-0. Winks and Lo Celso. But Lo Celso's not even playing. How's he getting?
Of course not. No, of course not. You had him on the lineup. You had him on the lineup. So Winks, Bergwijn. I love Bergwijn.
I was going to say that.
I was shocked he didn't play against Palace. So yeah, I'd love him on the score sheet as well.
Cool. Darius, you take it next.
I'm 100% backing Tommy. I want to see Bergwijn score because I know that guy just needs a little bit of confidence. He just needs a goal and a good run of form, and I think that he can really start coming out of his shell. But we have to see it. Like, we can keep saying we want him to do it. We want him to do it, but we're going to have to see it now. So yeah, let's say I'm going to say prediction wise, I'd never predict clean sheets because it's Tottenham. So I'm going to go.
Come on, give it to me.
2-1 Tottenham.
2-1.
2-1 Tottenham. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think we'll win. And if you want goal scorers, I have to say Bergwijn, and I'm going to have to say Carlos because he just seems to be able to score whenever he's on the pitch. So yeah, 2-1.
2-1.
Ooh, 2-1.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to come to you. I'm going to go next, Mike, because we leave you till last on this one. Let me think. I honestly think the form we've been showing has been really good. My only concern is if we bring Dyer back in and we have Hart in goal and Sanchez is playing, those three together don't fill me with massive confidence of keeping a clean sheet. Not to say we can't win the game, and I think we'll win the game, but I agree with Darius. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because of that. I'm going to go with a 3-1 scoreline, and Carlos is definitely scoring tomorrow, I reckon, because he always scores against that sort of opposition in the Europa League, although it'll be a tougher game tomorrow. I have a sneaky feeling as well that Lamella's going to start, so I'm going to put Lamella on the score sheet. I think he's due a goal. He hasn't scored a little while, but I think he's due a goal. And I think we'll get someone off the bench, and I can see, he might bring on, I don't know, a Kane off the bench for 10 minutes or so, just because he can. And Kane will pop up with, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep Kane out of it. I think you're right. I think he might bring on the youngster. So Dane Scarlett will come on, but I don't see him scoring. So Carlos a brace. Carlos a brace and Lamella. 3-1. That's what I'm going with. Okay, Mike, take it away. I'm ready with my pen here.
This is going to be the right answer. This is not predictions. This is spoilers, guys. So
this is
spoilers.
What's going on with this?
I'm going. I'm not even giving Zagreb a goal. I'm going 3-0.
Snap.
And my goal scorers, I'm going Vinny with a brace and Dele Alli.
Oh shit! I forgot about Dele Alli.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Don't forget
about Dele.
Do you think Dele? Question: do you think Dele will start or has a chance to start on Sunday, or do you think he's starting this Thursday because he's not probably going to start on Sunday?
That's a good question.
I think he could start, but I don't think he will.
I don't. He could.
No, Dele ain't starting Sunday. He's going to start with Moura, and
he stretches the defense, Lucas.
Exactly.
I
don't see Dele coming to do that.
And he's in good form as well.
Absolutely, but against Crystal Palace, he's so inconsistent. You don't know what he's like Jekyll and Hyde with the ball. He even stretches the defense and completely goes. But I don't think he knows what he's doing. So the opposition certainly don't know what he's doing in centre attacking mid. So
I'm guessing that's Lucas you're talking about because that's so true.
Yeah, it is Lucas.
Yeah, it has to be. He's good. He's good, but
he's in good form. So you can't change a winning team on Sunday. You just can't. I expect him to keep that same team from Palace. Hence my goal scorers and stuff. So
just a couple more or 2 or 3 more comments to deal with. So Zach says, hope to see you in the next round, because obviously Man United should be in the next round. Good luck tomorrow. By the way, the Vinicius question was genuine, laugh out loud. So he was trying to be genuine, but it's always barred with them Man United. You can't trust them. You just can't trust them. Hello, Turf. Winks, Defo isn't scoring. So
wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. Look, Højbjerg, 35-yard screaming against Liverpool. Come on now, it's wishful thinking, but I want Winks to be there next season. So bag a couple of goals. Mourinho might keep him about.
He's not there next season if Skip comes back, mate. I'll tell you that much. He's off. See you later, Harry Winks. Sorry about that.
I watch a lot of Championship. I watch a lot of Championship football in Norwich. Unbelievable. I want Buendia. Mm-hmm. He's a big time player.
He's a big time player.
There's a lot of Norwich players that are pretty decent, and they've got
Max Aarons.
Yeah, there's a few decent Norwich players.
Everton, I think they're going to need a right back. Everton, I think he's very, very closely linked to Everton, so he's probably going there, Max Aarons. But yeah, they're talking 50, 60 million pounds. Incredible money.
That sort of money. Last comment here. Hello, Turf. 2-0. Tanguy and Vinny. Interesting that. Tanguy, because I can't
see him playing. I can't see.
But he didn't. Did he not? He didn't play on the weekend though, did he? And he didn't come on at all.
No.
So he's going to have to.
He was a blanket man, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a blanket man. He didn't come on. So I can see him playing some part. I don't know if Jose will be starting him, but I can't see him going tomorrow's game, going straight into Sunday. But who knows?
Unless he plays him at fullback instead of Doherty and Aurea. So...
Yeah, that's what I was looking at with the lineups, and he hasn't been playing at fullback. I don't know what he came into the team. He came into the 25-man squad last year as a centre back. I'm sure he came in as a centre back.
Yeah. I think he's better as a centre back as well, in my opinion. I think he could probably be. He could swap with Sanchez. He could be the rotation with Sanchez.
He can certainly
centre back.
It just seemed that when he played for us last season, he was playing at fullback, wasn't he? And he was tearing it up and down that wing. He's got everything to be a great fullback. He's got the pace, power, speed, He's got everything to be a good fullback, but Mourinho says he's too small to be a centre back, doesn't he? That's why he's not been playing him there. So I don't know.
Fabio Cannavaro, 5'9", the last centre back to win the Ballon d'Or. Baresi, 5'9", apparently the best two centre backs the last 30 years. I'm too young to see Baresi, but for Cannavaro to win the Ballon d'Or, the short centre backs are the best.
I remember, going back even further than that, I remember old Paul Parker for Man United.
I love Paul Parker.
He was, and he must have been about 5'2", but he was great. But yeah, it's really good to have you guys. And so, Tommy, before we go, give yourself a free shout out, what you want viewers to do, where they can find you on your social media, etc., etc. You plug away.
Okay, cheers, guys. Yeah, as I said, it's a relatively new channel. Only been going for like a month to 5 weeks, but yeah, Spurs on TV. So you can find me on Twitter under the same handle, Insta under the same handle. As I said, things are improving as we go. I do live watch-alongs, so that's my big one, the live watch-alongs. That's where I want people to join me. So get at me on the channel, give me a sub, give me likes on my content, and certainly join me for my live watch-alongs. I'll be doing the Zagreb game tomorrow. Cool. So cheers, guys. Thanks for having me on.
I was going to say, if you're available, but I don't know if you're obviously doing your watch on, you might do something after. Obviously, we do post-match reaction generally straight after the game, but it's probably going to be about 10:15 tomorrow. So if you are available, yeah, join us. But if it's a watch along, those viewers go and watch Tommy and Spurs Zone TV and enjoy the game. I won't be, because I'm just going to be watching on my own or with Darius. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to talk to nobody because it might go pear-shaped. But hopefully it won't be pear-shaped tomorrow. And it's just looking forward to that one on Sunday. Last comment here I've got here. Zach's been on our show all the show. Thank you, Zach, for staying on. You love this, don't you? I like your studs up. You talk a lot as well, by the way. But I say that's good. See, because he's taking the piss again. Which one of you has the best beard? My beard, because it's great.
Nah, I'm going to say Tommy's winning that one. Tommy's winning that one.
When you zoomed in on me,
Tommy's is a strong beard.
I noticed when you zoomed in on me, these bit over the lips need a trim. So as soon as this is over,
that's a strong beard, my friend.
Nah, I'm sorry. As soon as this is over, it's healthy. It's healthy.
Nice, strong.
Get the clippers out.
Mine's is grey. Mike's has got that Don Corleone look, you know what I mean? Just that's kind of coming out there, just you know what I mean? I like that. And Darius has just got that youthful
child
one.
Premature child beard, puberty beard. That's what I call it.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, good. Oh, looks like Tommy's frozen. Oh, that's unfortunate there. Tommy, if we can get you back, but he's back. Okay, cool. Like, subscribe, share, comment, everybody. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. Make sure you get all the videos or notifications of the videos for this show and all the others. Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal. But yeah, you can watch all of these videos on here, FTB Sports. Remember, Spurs Zone TV with Tommy. Watch along tomorrow. Join that. And gentlemen, hopefully the reaction show tomorrow should be a straightforward one, and we can look forward to the big one come the weekend. That's the one. That's the one for me. But we have to get through tomorrow.
10 points clear the goose.
That's all I want.
10 points clear is what you reckon. So yes, let's get out with this one. So guys, take care. Thank you very much. And we'll see you again soon.